Yo, 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 what's up, world? Here we are again, episode number 2. Your boy Hodge 1, Michael Villano.
Yeah.
I want to send a special shout out to the world, man, but I definitely want to send a big shout out to all the men in the world. You know what I mean? Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing great things. Hey, we appreciate you, brother. Hey, we need you out here, brother. You know what I mean? But with that being said, man, I know this episode, man, is talking about, budgeting your health, the importance of health. So you no longer feel just burdened down by the pressures of life, feel paralyzed, you feel powerless sometimes, you know what I mean? Just being a man, a man itself, Mm-hmm. Not only do we have to make sure we straight, but we have to make sure people we love are straight also, Ooh. As a man, we just feel that we have to do that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Welcome, podcast MANtality.
We here.
Episode number 2. Hodge, how was your week?
Man, it was productive. I'll say that. It was all work. You know what I mean? Now I get a little time to play. Yeah. Even though I know we working now, I don't consider this work. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something I enjoy doing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think that's very important when it comes to budgeting. Budgeting your time and taking time for what you enjoy, something you can enjoy by yourself. You know what I mean? What's something that I can do by myself that I can enjoy that doesn't require anybody? I think that's, that we don't do a lot. Finding something that makes us happy.
Right. It could be the simplest thing. You may wake up, you might just want to go to the Waffle House or the IHOP, you know what I'm saying? Just get you some pancakes every Saturday morning. Mm-hmm. Just do something that you enjoy doing. It doesn't have to be expensive, but something that relaxes you and eases the stress, because stress-related, health issues, mental health for men are just skyroofing out of this world, not only in men, but, in everybody. So I think it's important that we take time out to just do things that we love, things that we can appreciate, so we're not stressing as much. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And just kind of a disclaimer. Yes, we are targeting men's mental health, but it's also mental health for women, children, just young adults, it's college students, it's mm-hmm. the corporate world, it's the blue collar, it's the, mm-hmm. Whatever, entrepreneurs, we got to have a mindset and be aware of it. So let me ask you a question, Hodge. Did you do any budgeting last week?
Man, I did a little budgeting, you know what I mean? Because I think it's very important. Me, myself, man, I have a health coach kind of helping me with some of the things that I got going on right now. Every now and then I may, speak to a therapist as well, just to get some things off my chest. And how that's been working for me, it's been pretty good, Just being a man sometimes, you hold a lot, you know what I mean? So, but to answer your question, man, I've been trying to budget my health a lot more, man,
Right. Well, it is budgeting. You're investing, you're putting in that part of bank account that's, whether it's stress or whether it's somebody to talk to. And that's one of the main issues that we, want to address in this podcast is, who do men talk to? If you don't have a significant other, if you don't have a mother or a father, or somebody else to talk to, or sometimes you might have a mother, father that you can't come to certain problems, right? So, we talk to our women a lot about it more, but when do you ever hear, men talking to men about issues, and how do I budget? You know what I mean? So I think that is part of budgeting, is going to figure out, when you're putting in something into your mental bank account, some things you're not going to get return on, but you shouldn't get, you should get return on something. You know what I mean? So,
yes,
you wouldn't, like the same way you look up for saving a car, you're going to look how that's going to affect you the next 10 years. But do you look at relationships the same way? Do you look at your job the same way? Can I deal with this 10 more years, or will it affect me mentally? Will it start affecting my health once it's got me mentally?
Man. And I think that's another thing, a lot of times we as men, we may have to work a little bit more than we have to, or we would like to, just to make sure, we got kids, we got kids to feed. We want to make sure we put our kids in college. You know what I'm saying? We want to make sure mama's straight. You know what I mean? So it's just a a lot that we take on as men. So I think it's very important, man, that we have that mental health bank, man. I think the goal is to make more deposits than you do withdrawals. You know what I'm saying?
It's about finding investors. What is your budget and what does your mental health budget circle look like? You know, do you have people that's investing in you, or are they only taking withdrawals, or are they making deposits in your mental health bank?
All I know, man, if you're around 10 people that's doing positive things, you know what I'm saying, doing things mentally right for their health, you will be the 11th person doing that as well. So I think it's very important, you know what I'm saying, the people that you keep yourself with, you know what I mean, the people you surround yourself with are making deposits.
Yeah, definitely, you know, because I have my own problems, but then my friends and my circles have their problems. Sometimes we carry their problems. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, even if it's a conversation that me and you have had, and you know, and I know you going through something, that still affects me because me and you are, you know, best friends and since high school. So when you tell me things that impact you negatively, I'm like, I feel it too, because I've invested so much into your, you know, mental health bank account, as well as ours together and separately as mine as well too. You know what I'm saying? So that's what kind of brought about this whole thing of, you know, changing our mentality, you know, for the men to a MANtality, and, you know, and look at yourself. It's not about what everybody else works for everybody else. It's about what works for you.
Say that one more time.
You gotta find that. You know what I'm saying? That's where it is. That's where it's helping me. I ain't got it all figured out. That's what we're here for. You know what I mean? We're gonna figure this thing out together. You know what I mean? Like, if, you know, some of the things we might say might not even work tomorrow, but this is how I feel today. You know what I mean? And if we don't talk about it, we keep it bottled up. And this is one of the big things. And we want this to be a safe space for men, for other men and women, to everybody to hear, that know that this is our. And I said to somebody the other day, Hodge,
what you said?
I said, I feel like I come to a point where this is, our podcast is an inner me screaming out for help, and I'm the person trying to find a way to make it better, to make better, do the research and to make it better. Like, you know how they say when you meditate and whatever's that heavy thought, whatever you thinking most of, you probably should fix that because it's on your mind so much enough, it's bothering you. We don't talk about it. We don't go to therapists. We don't put back in our own mental health budget. You know what I'm saying? The way we put in somebody else's. I'll be quick to put in somebody else's mental budget in a heartbeat, because it feels good to know that I helped somebody, but don't it feel good to help yourself sometime?
And that's what we forget to do sometime, man. You know, sometimes I remember, man, people would come to me, I may have a bad day, you know, overwhelmed, you know what I mean, just a lot on my plate. You know, people say, hey, how you doing today? You know, I'm doing well, I'm doing fine. But inside I was like breaking up, you know,
being
bad,
a man. Just being a man about it, you manning up. You
but
ain't
I'm
allowed
gonna tell you though, now somebody asks me how I'm doing, if I'm having a bad day, I say, hey, I'm having a bad day. You know what I mean? I'm having a bad day. I'm having a great day. Hey, today ain't the best day for me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna get through it.
Or today I'm just figuring it out.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
It's important that we talk about what we're feeling on the inside, man. You know, that's what makes a good, you know what I'm saying, mental health account. And, you know, a lot of people want to know how exactly does the mental health system work. It's just by doing, you know, a few adequate things, man, to kind of help you reach those goals, man. Yeah. You got to get enough sleep, man. You know what I'm saying?
Say, man, how many times I wake up cranky just for getting a couple hours, and then no matter what, it's just something on me all that whole day, right? It's just, I'm irritable, and like, I don't even want to fool with I don't even want to fool with myself, you know?
Sometimes we don't even know why we're irritated, but it's lack of sleep. So that's definitely important, man. We got to eat a lot better out here. I know me and you talk about this all the time, man.
All the time.
A lot of food that's out here is not really food. It's more chemicals than anything, right? So I know we all out here, you know, trying to be Superman, saving the world, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like you were saying earlier, man, we got to take time and save ourselves as well, man. So, you know what I'm saying? We're going to try to get enough sleep. You know what I mean? We're going to eat healthy food.
I tell you something. I always like to share these personal moments that we have, because I think we're open enough, and I don't mind, it's just a lot of men like us who have these pressures, and we're trying to figure this thing out, called, being a man. What is it? You know what I'm saying? Or what is my version of a man is, and how do I feel good about it? But one thing I admire in you, Hodge, is you exercise. like you always exercising, my boy, like the ding ding machine, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I got on it. Let me tell y'all something about this ding ding machine, man. I got on this thing one time. I thought I was finna conquer it. It's like a eucalyptus and it's a mountain climb. It's all what is it called, Hodge? You know
Oh man, it's called the it's like a Bowflex something, M5 or something. But I'm gonna tell you though, man, you gotta represent for all the big men out there. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. You know, I'm a big guy, whatever, but hey, I can run with the best of them. I can hoop with the best of them. I can do whatever with the best of them, right? And that comes from just having that desire to want to do whatever I could do as a youngster until now. So a lot of people underestimate what a person can do, you know what I'm saying? But it's all about how you prep yourself, how you do it throughout the durations of years, staying consistent with it. You know what I'm saying? It really don't matter how the outside may be. It may not be exactly how you want it to be, but how is your health when you go to the doctor?
And you working on it. You budgeted it into your, you know what I'm saying, your budget, you putting back into it.
You got to put back into it. And what is the doctor saying when you go to the doctor? Because that's good to get that check out, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that if it's something that we do need to work on, hey, we can work on it now. I mean, shoot, you know, we definitely take our cars to go get that oil change, you know what I mean?
Facts.
You know what I mean? So we got to take ourselves to the doctor, man, to get that heart change. Not heart change, but that heart check. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts. You definitely want to get that heart checked. Also, to the men out there, definitely, if you're not doing nothing else, get your health checked. Go to regular checkups at least once a year. Once a year, you owe it to yourself. You know, like you said, you'll go out there and make sure your sneakers clean and make sure you maintenance your sneakers. You make sure you maintenance your clothes and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, so the same way we invest in material things, are we investing like that in our own life? And what are we putting back into our mental health bank account or our life bank account, period? You know what I'm saying? And exercising, eating healthy foods, getting enough sleep. So even if you don't talk about it, kings, at least do these things. You know what I'm saying? Spend time in nature. You know what I mean?
It's important. It's important. You know, come one with nature. You know, sometimes I get up in the morning, man, and I walk, man. I might just go to an area that's so beautiful, man. Trees, you know what I'm saying? You see the sunrise, man. You know what I mean? And it makes you appreciate the day, you know what I'm saying? You like, man, look at this beautiful, you know what I'm saying, scenery that I'm seeing, you know what I'm saying? So your day's already starting on the up and up, man. But that's how you beat stress, you know what I'm saying? That's how you beat anxiety. You know what I mean? That's how you beat depression, man. You know what I mean?
Especially exercising in nature.
Hey, exercise your body and your mind. You know what I mean? Stay sharp, man. Iron is sharp as iron. You know what I mean? Never get comfortable. You know what I mean? Identify the problems that you are having. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to talk about them. You know what I mean? And just find a solution. You know what I mean?
Right. There's sites you can go to. There's health.gov. You can do some more research into mental health. There's NAMI, capital NAMI. They help with a lot of stress. You know what I mean? There's
say those again for me one time.
It's NAMI. It's NAMI. That's the acronym for it. And you know, that's a website you can go to as well. They help with and as well as health.gov. You know, there's just a couple. There's a lot out there. We're gonna keep feeding them to you. But first and foremost, before you can even do that, like you said, you got to be mindful. You have to recognize these things, or how can I improve? Because we might be improving in areas that's not helping us in the long run. It might be things that we need to fix that's really affecting it. Like being honest with ourselves. Like, you know, a lot of things that are in our mental health bank account. You know, like we got a stress account, we got anxiety account, we got a depression account, we got trauma account, we got difficult relationships account, we got work overload account. You know what I'm saying? Are we mindful of these things that we invest in daily? These are our life bank accounts. Like we know I know when my money missing in my bank account, right? I know when my account's gonna be overdrawn monetarily, but do you know mentally when you're overdrawn? You know what I mean? Like from the intro, like I think broken go in the same context as your mental health bank. Is if you're broke financially, you can also be broken mentally. You know, in that bank account, you know, dynamic of it.
I think, man, sometimes we work so hard on our goals, man, and when we do reach those goals, you know what I'm saying, it's a sense of accomplishment. But the same way that we're reaching for those goals, you know what I'm saying, we gotta have goals for our mental health as well, you know what I'm saying, our total health as well. You know what I mean? Who's gonna be here to teach the youngins the right way? You know what I mean? So it's definitely important that we do our due diligence as men.
Research and
take
readiness.
Back, you know what I'm saying? What it means to be a man in the world today. That they're trying to strip. So, but what was you gonna say, my brother?
Just going back to the first episode, research and readiness. Like if you go opening some doors, you got to be ready to be honest with yourself. Like, when we talking about, I know, we talking about financial and saving and see how we waste. I know consciously, I at least waste $20 a day on something, whether it's food, when I could be doing something else, just being mindful of that. And it's good. Like, it adds up the same way as that adds up financially, the same way we are withdrawing, and it adds up. It causes stress, causes anxiety, depression, trauma, and, makes it, irritable. You ain't dealing with people like, you should be, and might be missing opportunities and work overload. How happy are you at work? What does that plan look like? Are you mentally happy with your job? And if not, it's interesting. It's one thing that's always sat with me, and I always regurgitate this because most deaths from a heart attack happen on Monday, right?
That's what I hear,
because
man.
you're going back to work.
Doing something you don't want to do.
Man, just stressed out, carrying everything is on you, and it goes to men. We have that pressure all the time, by societal terms. Sometimes you can be stressed in your home, you stressed at work. You know what I mean? How do you get away from the mental exhaustion? You know what I mean? So it's important to find that scapegoat, whatever it is. Sometimes you got to do whatever it is just to make it through the day. You know what I mean? So just take care of yourself out here, man. You know what I'm saying? And when you do that, it helps you cope better with, emotions. You know what I'm saying? Deal with your relationships better. You know what I'm saying? Deal with your workload better. You know what I'm saying? And another thing I think that's very important, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to having a lot of workload is just, just kind of being prepared for that load, man. Prepping for it, maybe taking a few extra minutes in the morning, you know what I'm saying, to get yourself ready instead of just, leaving at the last moment to try to make it to your job or to drop off the kids or whatever you have to do. Just a few minutes early.
Just a few minutes
early.
Just
30 minutes. Well, 30 minutes, you don't think? Maybe just even that, or even 15, whatever you can contribute. You're doing more than you did yesterday. You know what I mean? So as long as I know as I'm working on it, I'm doing more than I did yesterday, whether it's like we talk about with the podcast, whether we getting 5 views or we going to get 10 people listening, it don't matter. We're not doing it for views. We're doing this because these are things that we want to talk about. These are things that I feel like we should talk about, man to man, and be open about it, because there's not safe places that men can talk about these things openly, let alone, man to man, without being judged or without, just thinking that, am I good enough because my bank account don't look good, when all along I need to be worried about my health bank account. You know what I'm saying? I'm worried about keeping up with the Joneses in my car. You know what I'm saying? I'll work myself to death, literally. I'll work myself to death for somebody else's dream, but I can't even do it for my own. I can't even invest that. But I think for us to do it, you have to have that mind space before you can even tackle financial. You got to be mentally, mentally, bank accounts got to be secure. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
you gotta have, like you said earlier, you gotta have more deposits than withdrawals.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? And that's what keep us, up and up. That's what keep us doing great things. You know what I'm saying? Definitely having the right, queen with you. You know what I'm saying? Having the right people surrounding you. You know what I mean? Also helps, in these times, man. And don't be afraid to talk it out. I mean, like, if you have somebody who's not willing to hear you talk out a situation, you know what I'm saying, you may just have to reflect on if this is, somebody I should have in my life, man. You know what I mean? Because that's what has helped me out plenty of times, just talking about it, you know what I'm saying, getting it out of my system, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I think that's most important, that women, we know primarily women talk to women.
Absolutely.
But men really don't talk to men, and we like, man, bro, I'm just, fortunate to have somebody that can give me another man's point of view.
Why?
Well,
Why do you think that is? You know, do you think it's like, hey, I'm a man, I'm gonna figure it out myself, more so than, hey, let me be, more open to somebody who may have already experienced this, who can help me on my way instead of I can figure it out myself?
Well, I think just in society as a whole, even in religion, is heavy that the man has to lead, the man bear the weight, carry while the woman, teaches the children or takes care of the family, the household, or whatever. No, typically by societal terms, and I think that weighs heavy. I think it goes back, like I think they said, to Jurassic Park times, to where the man was just leading everything. You know what I mean? Was always physically stronger. I think that too. That men are just, we know, scientifically, physically stronger. So just with that essence, shouldn't we just like carry the load? You know what I mean? But I think it weighs heavy on a lot of men when we can't talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, we know what's there. That's okay. We know that's what's a man being about. I was born a man. I didn't get to choose to be a man. You know what I'm saying? So we all born who we are, or whatever you want to be. If you want to be, whatever you want to be, that's fine too. That's whatever makes you happy. That's the biggest part. Find what makes you happy first. The rest comes later. You know what I mean? So, but I really think that men, because women want to protect it. They always say that. They look for you to walk on the outside of the curb. They want you to, open the door. They want you to, lead. You know what I'm saying? They want you to make good, sound decisions.
Right. And, and those things are good, and we definitely should do those things as men, especially when, we do have a loved one like that, man. But, just talking about this podcast, man, in general, man, we talked about this many times, man, but the ultimate goal here was, man, just to try to empower, everybody that we could on this planet, man, and at the same time, we had a big interest just on, men in general itself, because we knew as men coming up, a lot of things that we, had on our mind, or a lot of things that we went through, we really didn't have, a support system to really speak about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I know
right.
we shared a lot of things with each other, and that made things easier for me, and easier for you through the years. So I think that's why we have this podcast, man, because we want men to be able to, talk, express themselves, get things off of their chest without no judgment, man.
Right. And even if y'all kings out there don't want to talk about it, at least you have something to listen to and know that y'all aren't by yourselves. That's one of the biggest things for me to help me through in a lot of situations, is that knowing I'm not the only one going through this. I'm not alone. I'm not the only man that has these issues or have a problem or dealing with stress, anxiety, depression, past traumas, difficult relationships. I'm not, we always have this Instagram or social media facade that we only show the good stuff. So we trying to talk about it all. We trying to talk about the stuff you don't see.
The good, the bad, and the ugly, man.
All of it. So,
because prolonged stress, man, definitely weakens the immune system, man. It definitely impacts the cognitive functionality, man. You know what I'm saying? And emotionally, man, you need those things to be working properly, man, so your overall quality in life can be spectacular.
So just to recap on that, man, just get more sleep. Make sure you're resting. Yeah, we know you want to grind, and I rest when I'm sleep mentality. But you're going to go to sleep. I mean, you can rest when you die mentality if you want to, but it might come quicker if you don't get some rest. You know what I mean? So, and it's eating. You control what you put in your mouth. Don't nobody make you eat them foods. Do you know what you even eating? Do you know the consequences of what you eating? You wouldn't drive a car that didn't have brakes.
I wouldn't.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So why we out here eating foods that we out here wonder why we feeling this way or look this way or whatever? It definitely plays a part.
I honestly believe, Villano, a lot of men, people in general, man, they want to eat a lot better, man, but in this fast-paced life that we living in, man, hey, let's just pick up something. I'm tired. I worked all day. I'm exhausted.
Right.
I had to pick the kids up, so I got to make sure they good to go. Just going to grab this and go home and eat, man. So I think a lot of times we don't get the opportunity, or we feel like we don't have the opportunity to really get in the kitchen and prepare, a meal with love. You know what I'm saying? Our meal that's going to be fulfilling, not just calories you're putting in our body that's not helping us at all.
Right. So we got to shift that then to not beneficial to our time, but our body. That's that budget movement. We investing in time. See, we investing in something that's not our body. You know what I mean? So if we invest in time, so if I'm just trying to cut corners in time, eventually them corners gonna catch up.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
but I do it all the time. It's hard, man. And I always say, one of the hardest battles for me in dieting, exercising is the kitchen. The war in the kitchen for me. You know, what I'm putting in.
It's definitely like, you know, we talked earlier, man. You said, hey, you know, all my life, you know, I exercise, I do this, I do that, you know, move around, I'm physical, you know what I'm saying? And I think thankful that I'm able to be, you know what I'm saying, mobile and get around and as agile as I am, you know what I'm saying?
Bless.
But the fight is definitely in the kitchen, man, you know what I mean? And that can also come with stress as well, you know. Sometimes we may go towards the food, or we may go towards whatever other vice it is, man, just dealing with stress that we deal with every day. So if we can figure out them things in life, you know, I think overall it will help, you know, situation in the kitchen, you know what I'm saying? Situations, you know, with your job, situation with your girl, your kids, you know, whatever it is.
Where are you mentally with all these things? Like, do we even step back and even like analyze that or think about it? Like, you know what I mean? Because I know what's in my bank account. I know what that bill is coming. But what about our mental health? What about those mental health bills that's coming? Do we have enough in our account put in from everywhere? You know what I mean? So, but
I gotta start making them deposits, man.
Right. Or around people who invest, like-minded people that invest in the same things that you want to invest in. The same way that you want to surround yourself with people who are doing things that you already want to do at the level that you want to do it at. Whatever it is, if you want to be a chef, you need to be around some chefs that's doing it at the level you want to do. If you want to be a physical, you know what I'm saying, therapist, work out, you need to be around those people. You want to do music, you need to be around people who do the level that you want to do it at. You know what I mean? So that type mentality. So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
How do you identify and manage withdrawals in this, you know, so-said mental health bank account?
Man, I just make sure, man, whenever I do make a withdrawal, you know what I'm saying, I try to save those for the most stressfulest times of my day, or, you know, my week that I may have. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, say I may have a meeting coming up, you know what I'm saying? I might have a presentation that I have to present.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to save a withdrawal, you know what I'm saying, to that day, you know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm going to be stressed that day. So, hey, let me pull a withdrawal that day, you know what I'm saying? But any day that I don't have to deal with, you know, so much pressure, that may be a day I don't have to make a withdrawal. I can just get through the day without making that withdrawal.
Right. So maybe one of your deposits would be going to sleep a little bit early, knowing that you need a little more rest so you can be at your best?
Absolutely. Not only that, you know, I'm going to make sure I get up early and prep myself so that I'm ready as well. Kind of like, you know, the first episode we was talking about.
And meditation, or just what are your, you know, prep?
You know, definitely got to meditate, man. Maybe not every day, but if you can meditate at least 5 to 10 minutes every day, man, just kind of reflect on the things, you know, how you want the day to go, reflect on how the week's been, reflect on how your day was yesterday, reflect on how you get through things better. I think meditation is important. So that's like a deposit for me, you know what I'm saying, at that point in time, man. So
I think you hit something that just resonated with me, that word reflect and reflection. Like, if we don't reflect, just think about it. If we're not speaking about it, for one, but just remember that we're not, as men, we generally don't talk about all these things that's happening. You know, we got to carry and just bear it across, per se, So we take these snapshots. So let's say we don't even look into it and make deposits on, you know, getting enough sleep, or we don't eat enough healthy foods, or we don't spend time in nature, or find something, you know, connect with loved ones. If we don't find something, you know, positive within it, and positive meaning deposits, then let's say I go 12 months and then I really trying to analyze it. Then I'm trying to crunch 12 months of things, you know what I mean, that I haven't talked about, for one. And you know, I'm not really feeling good about myself, because if I'm overdrawn, then I'm like, dang, am I doing anything right financially? You know, what's going wrong with my relationships? I get this whole big old picture instead of day by day, or easily even week by week, just like you said, reflecting and bringing, you know, what was good, what worked, what didn't work. Be honest. You know what I mean? I always used to tell when I was doing management, running as a store manager, I would challenge my managers up under me to recognize 2 things that they did really good through the day, and then one that they think they could do better or weren't able to do the next day and figure that out. So, you know what I'm saying? So we recognizing, reflecting and recognizing the good, capitalizing, knowing that we got wins, but we also got things we can improve on.
So when you guys were doing that, what was the results from, the action that you guys took, saying during that time period? I know you guys said that, these are certain things you implemented while you were at McDonald's. How did that reflect on the employees at the time, or what, outcome did you guys see from doing that?
So what I was trying to get them to see was, even though if you had 10 fires you couldn't put out, there was still some good things you did throughout the day that you need to continue doing. Because I think if we don't recognize the things we're doing good, how can we continue if they're not? If we don't look at them as wins, and sometimes we have so many losses that it feels like even the wins don't count. You know what I mean? So I think that's what I was trying to just bring it in mindful, bring it to the forefront of, okay, hey, today was a rough day, but I still seen 2 good things that I can continue to do, and then 1 I can improve on tomorrow. And maybe once I get that fixed, then I can, you know what I mean? Then it moves into the slot of do things I'm doing good, and then that's just recognizing your problems, that there are ways that you can improve. What is mental health deposits? What is that? You know what I mean? Like if we had to break that down for our kings and queens and podcast listeners, like what is that, do you think?
Man, I just think, man, it's about taking care of yourself, getting enough sleep, man, talking out your problems, not holding on to them, pipes, definitely bust from pressure. So you don't want to continue to hold that pressure within yourself. You don't want to overexert yourself. You know what I mean? Those are some of the things that I think, you want to try to avoid. Don't be afraid to speak about how you feel about a situation. Yes. Don't feel less than a man if you feel a certain way about something that another man may not feel the same way about. You had a right to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Stand on what you believe, man. So these are some of the things that I kind of look at when things like this come to mind.
Right. Yeah. And I think some of the withdrawals and kind of the opposite spectrum of that are like, not being mindful of it or
dealing with it, knowing of it, but that's even worse than not being mindful. It's more, not to cut you off, but
good.
Just when you already know, but you like, hey, I'm just gonna deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
it's there. It's a bust pipe that you ain't repairing.
Hey, something ain't feeling right in my body, but hey, it's gonna go away. I know it's gonna go away, you know what I'm saying? But it don't, you know what I'm saying? Or hey, you know what I'm saying? I know the situation I'm feeling in my mind, it's gonna go away eventually, but it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? You just continue to deal with it, and that's even worse. So
let's say you wake up, I wake up irritable, right? And am I asking myself, why am I irritable? It's the reason. Either I ain't got enough sleep, I'm not eating right, I'm carrying a lot of stress, I went to bed with a lot on my mind, I really didn't sleep. Like, are we asking these questions is, why am I irritable? Why am I tired? Why can I not focus on what I want to do for me, but I stay focused for everybody else's dreams and goals, but I can't stay focused on mine? You know what I mean? I'm so tired. Just that too. I think a lot of that we don't put back in.
It's all about balance, man. And I know we talked about this earlier. You said, hey, I had to go to bed a little early last night to make sure I can get up early.
I did.
But it's like sometimes we just continue to go off of fumes. You know what I mean? And we wonder why the quality of our work, ain't where it needs to be. You know what I'm saying? Or we wonder why we feeling irritated. You know what I mean? Hey, you barely making it off of these fumes.
Yeah. And I got somewhere I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and I call it what you call blowing motors. Like, you can go so hard, like you can rev and not know when to back off and blow your motor, and you're gonna pay way of a more hefty price of blowing your motor than maintaining your motor, right? So in that concept, are you doing our mental health and our body the same way? Are we maintaining our body the same way we do our clothes? I mean, our car and clothes and shoes, and we'll make sure we'll take care of our phone better than our body.
Man,
you know what I mean?
Hey, we're gonna get a case. We're gonna get a screen protector, all of that the first day. But you know what I'm saying? We hesitate about making sure that we have that mental health budget that we need. We hesitate on making that doctor's appointment. You know what I'm saying? We hesitate about talking about things that are bothering us.
Going
we
to
just
somebody
continue to deal with it.
Like that's even a big thing for you, even just to come out and say that, hey, I went to a therapist. Hey, I needed help and I went to somebody else. That's huge so I'm just saying, just to even know that, hey, people out there listening to this, you're not alone. We need help. We need, we not in this thing alone. We're not in it alone. So why should we have to go? There are things you're going to find out alone, but we don't have to go through it alone just because, you're trying to figure things out for yourself.
Absolutely, man. I agree 100%. All the way.
So let me ask you this. How do you support others building their mental health bank accounts? Besides the podcast and things I'm doing, like you got a friend, you got somebody that's just that now and looking at it different in perspective, and your friend or somebody you might even know that you work with, or somebody they energy low and they mental because they been over withdrawing their account.
Man, what I like to do, man, when I drop a deposit on, someone that I see that may, be having, not such a great day, man, the first thing I'm going to do, man, is just let them know how important they are in life. You know what I'm saying? Here for a reason. Somebody's always doing worse off than you doing at this point in time right now.
Talk that.
Definitely think about all of the things that are working for you. Think about all the things that have worked for you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you having a bad day, you having a bad week, but things shall pass. You know what I'm saying? Look at how things have been through the duration of your life. You know what I'm saying? So, I like to drop those type of deposits so people can feel good about themselves, and the good starts to outweigh the bad, you know what I mean? And then they start depositing, you know what I'm saying, into their mental health, and they make sure that they do things that make them feel better out the day, throughout the day, and I try to get them to identify what's making them feel that way, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what happened? Did this happen? Did that happen? Why do you think you're feeling this way? Because when we can identify why, it could be lack of sleep, you know what I'm saying? It could be how we eating. So, hey, if we can figure out it could be one of those two things and we work on those things, then that's something that may not irritate us and that can have us feeling better every day. You know what I'm saying? Man,
you said a lot of stuff.
Hey. Well, I'm gonna let them pack that one up. Y'all can take that one with you, you know what I mean?
This is brought to you by You Can Pack That Up Moments. But nah, facts. And so I'm going to drop one too, man. So being proactive and not reactive. If you wonder why you're getting caught in these situations and things ain't going right, it's because you're being reactive to situations instead of being proactive. And we're challenging our listeners. We want our listeners to, we call to action. We're calling to action our listeners to do your research. Be ready for when these situations come. So that's why I feel like that first one was so important, because before we do anything in life, this podcast, anything, we got to research it. Is it worth it? What's the anything? Mental health. Start researching that. What is that? What does mental health mean to you? What does it mean to me? What does it mean to your friend? Because you got to understand what it means to them too, because it might not align with you, and that's okay, because that's what's best for him or her.
Well said, my brother. Well said, my brother. And again, man, it's important, man. Early signs or things that we feel that may not be right, we got to make sure we checking those things out, man.
Yes.
Check on them as soon as possible.
Yes.
Get them knocked out as soon as possible, man.
Yes.
Early detection, man. Let's not prolong. You know what I mean? Let's be strong.
Do you have a not just a care place, a doc in the box? Do you have a preferred physician? Does a doctor know you? Do you have a relationship with your doctor? You know what I mean? Like, that's important. I feel like it's important. A lot of men, we don't talk about this. Do you even have a doctor or you know what I'm saying? Because, you don't want to get it behind the 8 ball on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting up in age and I need to get, you know what I'm saying? That, when you already know that time with the colonoscopy type thing, you know what I'm saying? But, you got to check these things. So we got to be mindful of the same way with breast cancer, the same way with testicular cancer. You know what I mean? So are we mindful of these things? Are we even getting checked? Even if you have a doctor, are you even going? Like, some of us have, physicians we go to, but don't even use them. You know what I'm saying? Don't even go, for checkups or getting your blood work done and things of that nature. And these are things that we really don't talk about. So these are things we want y'all to ask yourselves. And if you don't, what are you waiting on? You're waiting on to when you need to find one, then it's too late. If you need to go find one, it's too late. You ain't did your research and you ain't gonna be ready.
Don't wait till it's too late, brothers.
Nah, you got to make deposits. Got to make deposits. We're making all these withdrawals, and you know, we're not conscientious on it. And man, next thing you know, our bank account, our mental health bank account is overdrawn. And you know what happens when it's overdrawn?
We're in the
negative. And you're going to get taxed for what? So extra fees.
You know what I mean? So.
And you're paying the price extra. Everything got a price. Ain't nothing free.
So basically, we just saying, ladies and gentlemen, podcast listeners, look at your health the same way you look at that bank account. You know that bank account's important. Make sure you know that your mental health and your health is just as important, because you can be the richest person in the world, but if you ain't here,
yeah, you can't do nothing with your money. And if you can run, 10 miles, it don't matter if you ain't happy or if you enjoying life. Where's your mental health? So much we check our financials, we check, you know what I'm saying, our physical, what we eat and health, but what about our mental health? Like, that's not pushed as hard as physical and monetary, you know what I'm saying, health.
People say, hey, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna work hard, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna work these 2 or 3 jobs, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do, you know what I'm saying, to reach my goal. So let's make sure that we doing whatever we need to do to make sure we steady depositing to that mental health. You know what I'm saying?
The same way you out there hustling and for them dollars, man, hustle
do the same thing for your mental health.
Deposit. Ching.
Drop it in there.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is the MANtality podcast. I'm Michael
2,
Villano.
Hodge 1.
You know what I'm saying?
Voice of the city.
You ain't gotta put the DJ on him, my boy.
One time for the one time.
Number 1. But yeah, so just be mindful of your mental health budget. Are you overdrawn? Are you making deposits? Do you even have an idea of where your mental account is? Have you even looked at it? Are you scared to look at it? You know what I mean? I was scared to look at mine, but it's the only way you can fix it. You gotta look at your bills when you moving bills around. So when the last time you looked at your mental health budget? So we want y'all to go do some homework. We got a call to action, and we see you on the other side of this episode.